Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Good day thing. Beginning of photon showers,
Yes. Oh,
thing.
that reminds me. I'm getting my pancakes, but I gotta turn my grow light on for my plants first.
What kind of plant are you attempting not to kill?
Oh, I have so I've got like regular house plants, but I've got a table full of
Oh, wow.
exotic ones.
Plenty.
Yes, I have one. This is my pink uh um philodendron princess.
Oh, wow.
It's
Okay.
actually pink.
Yeah.
So I just don't
Yeah,
want to
though.
dump water on my computer. Yeah, I've got some, and I've got alocasias. Lots of alocasias, which I like, but for some reason they haven't been doing well. They've got something's happening, but I think it's because they can go through like a winter die-off, and mine didn't
Yeah.
die off. They just looked not great. So I thought I was
Yeah.
doing something wrong, but then I remembered I'm like, it's winter. They're supposed to actually die back and then grow again, which they
Right.
haven't.
Right. You
Making
sound
pain.
so much more energetic and peppy than the last time we spoke.
Really?
Last time we spoke, you were on 0.85 or 0.75 speed mode. You were tired, and I don't want to tell you you look tired, but you obviously working
Oh
your
no,
butt off.
oh my God, Greg, I've never looked this tired. Like I never looked so much like a mom as I have for the last maybe 6 months.
You're only
And it's,
trying to do the hardest thing that ever. Plus, I heard college is sometimes difficult for some people.
Jesus, it's been horrific as far as here. Let me see if I can put my laptop on. I'm gonna put it onto okay, coconut oil
Be careful.
jar.
There's a comedian in Los Angeles who says apple stuff is slippery, so it'll hit the ground better.
Oh,
I'm gonna.
he's not wrong. I don't have a
He's not.
phone. I have several laptops now.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the video off just because it works better if I do this, and I'm gonna go fix my tea. I'm getting over a cold, so I don't want to shred my throat, which is barely working.
Yeah. You
Hi,
go and do that.
Black.
I'm gonna put more pancakes in the pan and I gotta finish my tea and then I'll settle in. So,
Hi, Black Cat. How are you, Black Cat?
Aw. I was just
Yeah.
watching a dog video and I was like almost crying
Oh my
before I
gosh.
logged on. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go.
The little black kitty is not little anymore. She's bigger than the tormenting tortie.
And
And so,
she's a girl too, right?
yes,
The black one? Okay.
they're starting to find a peace because I will step between them and do the whole. Here's Black Kitty. See Black Kitty?
Oh, yeah. Hi, Black Kitty. I love black cats. I think
Me
black cats
too.
are great. I've never had one, but it's interesting because Eli picked out, because we talked about getting another cat. And the only cat that right now I would be willing to get, which I'm not going to, is a Devon Rex because they have very short fur that doesn't really fall out.
Yeah.
And we were looking at different colors, and the one he picked out was that smoky black, and I'm like, ooh, you know the smoky black that's got some stripes on it, and
Yeah. In the daytime
wow,
you can see it. Yeah.
yes. I'm like, I would love to have a black cat. Love it. I've had a tortie. I told you my tortie lived to 16.
Yeah.
She probably would have lived longer, but her kidneys were just not great. Um, she didn't get very good treatment with whatever clinic I was working at. So, I mean, everything happens for a reason. She was a bit of a bully.
Dude, torties are rough. I've never had one until this one that we inherited from the previous house, and she's a beast mode cat. The
They're no joke. They are literally the sassiest of the sass. They're like a I don't give a fuck bitch cats. They're
I'm telling
honest.
you, I've never seen such a thing because she's puny.
Yeah.
She's not really puny, but she's not big or medium sized even. And she tortured the shit. She drove off this cat's mother the first time. When you move a cat, you have to do the whole bathroom only,
Yes.
bathroom and then a room and then the house for a
Yeah.
while. So the first time we let this one as a two fists kitten this big and her mother out, the tortie drove her off to the forest. We never saw her again. Now,
Aw.
The mommy kitty was very pretty, medium length, fluffy, and very social, very talky. The most talky cat I've ever
Mm.
seen in terms of variety, not in amount of talk. So check this out.
I'm not, I just saw that.
I put it as a stage prop. It's got twinkle mode, nighttime, real actual nightlight mode. That's nightlight mode. And then it's got just steady. So it's like a little prop because it's more interesting than a power receptacle. So I'm gonna get a few of these, $5. I'm gonna get a few different bullshit, completely different props and just put them there.
And
Change it
just
up.
for interest, I love it.
Just for
It's
something
funny,
different.
I after our so Yesse and I had a really, really great like hour-long work session last week. We just kind of met up for a quick work session.
Why not?
But I was telling her, so I haven't ta told you guys yet, but we were talking about the post-Connor experience. And oh, Patty! Yay! Hi, Patty! Perfect
See,
timing. See? See? I summoned
hey,
you. I was just like
it's
saying, I haven't
yes,
told you guys
yes.
stuff, and
And
then you
just like
appeared.
Star Trek or a magical situation, she has to materialize completely.
Yeah. You
I'm
totally
practicing.
materialized before I was just starting a story about telling you guys something. But what I was going to say is after my
Say hi.
Connor
Say
talk last
hi.
week, I had the inspiration. Hi,
Say
Kitty.
hi. Say
I
hi.
had the inspiration of recording, and in the frame behind me on the couch was Eli's Ninja Turtle toy the whole time. So same thing, Greg.
Yeah,
It's like a Ninja
I was just
Turtle
telling
set.
Anna I bought this for $5 just as a I'm not gonna put it in distraction mode. Like I think that's distracting.
Uh-huh.
But if it's
No,
just sitting
that's
there,
fun.
it just to make the electrical outlet less ugly, you know.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Cheers. We changed the electrical outlets to be the modern what they call Decora.
Uh,
Decora came out in the 80s. And
we have those at
we had
home.
an ivory colored kind of ugly 1970s style. Isn't that right, Kitty?
It'll be cool if you have a remote control for it, and every time it's like, oh, there's a spark.
Disco. So I have all kinds in my shopping cart. I have no money until maybe later on today. I have a contract. I have a contract. I can't cross my fingers because I'm a caveman. Can't cross my fingers. So I'm gonna cross my fingers this way. So today I'm gonna sign it, and it's not as much as I want, but it's enough.
Good.
And that's gonna
Yeah.
allow a few things, including remote control, silly lights, you know.
I think some
But
splurges.
yeah, $5 on Amazon. So you were saying, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go get some tea.
Hi, Patty. We missed
Hi.
you. Hi.
That replay was really cool.
I was gonna ask you whether you had a chance to watch the Connor thing.
I did. I like
Can you
how
give me your
he really
impressions
stripped it
as an
down.
outsider?
I think he has like really he's got the fundamentals of being an entrepreneur. He just stripped everything down, and everything's about like iteration after iteration, and yeah, it's it's almost like you're not failing in public, but you're like trying, improving in public. Um, but when he was talking about it, I just feel like online course for me probably isn't the way I'm going forward, at least like this season right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like the dental is definitely fit for online course, but there is something from me that's blocking me doing it. And I know I'm like when I also think down about it, I know who I want to approach to make it work. But in order for that to happen, I'll have to build up some authority first. So it's more of a collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I still feel like it's going to work. I need to give it time and something in the future. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, could you in the meantime, because I was thinking about this, and I know Greg is
Mm,
probably listening through his earpiece. Um, we've now got this time crunch, right? Until
yeah.
October. So I'm thinking about those things, and I'm thinking, I haven't taken advantage of even listening to a call beyond the first couple.
Mm,
And is there really going to be I'm curious. There isn't enough people at the point yet. I don't know. Has seen all the calls, and I don't know if you have, Patty.
I
Greg,
seen it up to end of last year, so I haven't
okay,
watched
so
any
you
of
haven't
it.
either. Okay, so the new ones I
Yeah.
know Greg is on it.
Mhm.
He's our source for the calls. I'm curious whether the calls have progressed to the point where we're seeing people who in this new platform and program are advanced past the ICA stage, because that's what's going
Mm.
to be interesting to me as to what information we're going to be getting past the ICA stage that's different than we already had in the other AA. And if
Mhm.
we're really is it worth it for us to push ourselves? And I'm talking about you, for example, or me. I
Yeah.
don't know what my speed is going to be. Is it worth to push ourselves into something if we're not quite ready or if it's not the right thing just to get the experience of them helping us versus does it make sense to go through all the material, gather what we feel is important, make sure we document it for ourselves to have it, and if we run out of time, we run out of time. And just to make
Mhm.
sure we have the resources to still be able to continue on what we're doing.
Yeah.
That makes sense, but that's kind of my question. I think Greg and the calls might be able to shed some light on that as to where people are at this point.
Mm. Yeah, I think that is something because if there's something nothing new compared to what we can do from the curriculum, then we probably don't have to
How
feel
much
that
value is
pressure.
there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, so you're 100% right, Anna. You basically read my mind, or you read Sunny's mind, or something. Um, I have some observations, and I don't know if I should record this. It is being recorded by default. Sorry. Okay, so I lost a bunch of ICAs. I lost 11 ICAs because my recording settings are screwed. It's in my head, but I can't make AI oatmeal out of it as per what the course recommends. So that's very unfortunate. If you want me to
Can I
stop
say one
recording, I would be glad to. I don't
Can
know if it's going to
I
help
say one thing
Elena.
before you answer, though? Before you answer, can I, please, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I didn't know if you were starting to answer or not yet. Are you recording for Elena or no?
I will give it to her if you guys don't mind. You know,
No.
100%. And Yesa. So I grew up with a bunch of Yesenias, so I'm used
Yes.
to saying that name. I think most Americans are not. I think. But yes, glad to say Yesenia. Hey, Yesenia. Hey, Elena. ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo estás? So in Spanish, there's a familiar and then there's a formal. There's a how are you that you would say to a judge, police officer, a priest, your girlfriend's father, and then there's a hey man, what's going on? Different
mm,
conjugation. So you got to change your verbs to indicate your relationship, which can be used to insult people or indicate that you don't care what they think or all kinds of
mm.
stuff like that. Depends.
Should we stop and then start again, though, so they don't have to like go through the whole jumble of me making pancakes and you doing stuff and we talking
Oh,
about
I assume, we have to assume that they
stuff?
can jump around because editing is very difficult and it puts people into, wait a minute, should I say that? And if we remember we're being recorded, okay, there's the recording light. So yeah, something like that. It's up to you guys. I'll turn it off in a heartbeat if you want.
I'm just curious if it
Okay.
would make it easier for them if we just turned it off now and then started recording again and then just gave them the
I can
conversation that
just I guarantee most people are jump around they'll just jump around. I think they'll figure it out.
whatever's easier for like I don't doesn't matter to me. I'm happy with that. I mean
Yeah.
they already know what what we do during the calls.
How we go, the way we
I'm
roll.
curious what you're gonna say, but my the last thing I wanted to say was when they introduced this course, I had this grand vision of, well, they're like, we have all these new coaches and this new person and that new person and that new person. And I thought, oh my gosh. And so it created this urgency of I need to take advantage of all of these professionals. But are those people even around? Are they even in the calls? Are they like, I have no idea what's happening with the calls. So that's why I'm curious, Greg. Like, is this big thing that they made it out to be, is that what's happening, or are not enough people at the point where they're now falling into those, extra people that they said that they were going to hire? Because they introduced this brand new whole team, right?
The salesperson for sure. So Connor was like, I meant okay. So answering your question sort of backwards is that I was talking to Connor about some other stuff the other day, and I mentioned the call, and I'm definitely going out of my way not to be a jerk about number one, exposing him to too much information. Is okay. Sorry, I got this working. I had a really kind of. I swear, I feel like I'm filing bugs for Zoom like every day. Um, I told him about some stuff, and I don't want to rub his nose in it, but he's like, "Go for it, woohoo, Roger Ramjet." And I mentioned the salesperson that was on the phone the other day, who is a very confident, very vivacious, like, I have sold on TV, I have sold jets, I have sold in a jet, I have sold next to a jet. She's not shy. Okay, let's put it that way. And he goes, "Oh, so they found someone to head up sales?" And I mentioned her name. He goes, "Yeah, I don't know her." So Sunny recruited she didn't promote somebody, she recruited somebody who met her vision of a extremely camera first person. They've also on that call, they indicated that they've changed their strategy. They're not going to review sales calls. They're going to focus on sales practice. Okay.
Mhm.
That's a big
How do they
difference.
do
And
that?
that using AI. So they've got an AI boxing robot that
Mhm,
you can tell it how hard to fight you. You can tell it what to fight you about. You can
mm,
repeatedly practice the same objection if you need to,
mhm,
which is helpful because guess what? The robot works 24/7. You don't have to
mm.
wait. Back in the old days, Connor's sales review things were once every 6 weeks or something. That's,
Have you
that's
shown how to do the sales bot in real time?
in real time, in the call. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They took three people and they gave three different examples and they reset the robot each time. And I'm going to use the word robot. I think that's more interesting.
Yeah.
That's just me being weird. Robot in Russian means worker, but in Czech it means slave. How about in Hungarian? Our Hungarian speaker on the call.
Um, robot does actually mean robot, but there's a description of the way that you work. You say robotoni. It means that you are basically chugging along as if you were a robot.
Like robot, I'm living
Hurry.
this robot-like
But it means
existence,
to
right?
hurry, to get through with determination is what it means.
Right, exactly. In Russian, robotnik is just ordinary worker, a guy, just a fella, But in Czech, it's like I cannot control my arms. What's happening? Yeah. So I think it's a robot. It has no choice. So yeah, the it looks like it's pretty effective. I'm surprised when AI surprises me, and sometimes it surprises me. And it looked like it'd be useful. Number one, it's always more useful to have a 24/7 tool. Number two, they're changing the flavor and the tone, and without being catty in the slightest, it was clear that there is an attitude shift, like a different tone. It's the best way I can explain it.
In what way?
So if you watch the call, I mean, it was just like, okay, so they've only talked about Connor's departure once, and that's fine, one and done. They removed him from everything. He's gone from all the recordings I had previously referred to other people because I
Really?
still solicit. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. So did they remove his sales training in the past for the like? Oh,
They've
wow.
decided to go a different direction, so why leave that stuff around? Plus, they got rid of all the old recordings. They said they
I
can
thought,
provide them one at a time.
well, I thought they say that's all available for us to watch from Facebook, like all
So Connor is
responses.
being hyper professional and he won't say anything inappropriate, but he
Mhm,
will laugh inappropriately because, hi, trained interrogator, I am good at getting people to explain to me what I want them to explain to me because I want to know how it works. And I said, "Oh, well, one of the things that's scary about Zoom is storage bills, and they have a lot of recordings." He goes, "Yeah, oops." you know, like
mm,
they made a mistake. So either way, I mean, they still have the master recordings. If you know what you want, you can get it. I was referring more people to the Michelle referral system, as I call it, but I've decided referrals are great, but they're limited.
mm,
They've got an intrinsic problem is they're still connected to people that you know, right? I want pure strangers. I want nothing besides pure strangers. I looked it up. I've got 12 good ICA recordings that are good to go. A few of them are shockingly good. I lost my best one ever. Julie Bettoni is a person my age who's launching a financial technology product. It's out now, but it wasn't out when I interviewed her. And the short version is she said if I knew what you were talking about, I could have saved $300 by bouncing a bad partner. 300K by bouncing a bad partner out with paperwork instead of the law. She didn't have any paperwork. She didn't compartmentalize the business. She didn't do any of those things that I teach. So it cost 300K in 2 years. She had to almost give up her license vis-a-vis Anna's situation, but she decided to go ahead and fight it. But 300K, it's going to take a while to get 300K back plus 2 years. And I don't know
Mm,
about you, when you're 50 something, 2 years is like, oh crap. How many of those do I get to keep, forever? So, but
yeah.
I have something to show. There's something that's kind of
Show
surprising.
and tell. Let's do it.
Show and tell. Okay, looky here, 37%, and I did nothing for
Oh,
it. No,
wow.
I
Oh,
did nothing for it. They changed the way they score the system, and because hello,
Wow.
algorithmic thinking person, I think inside Thinkific, there's a way to take these off of the percentage,
uh-huh.
okay? These extra resources, because you noticed I went backwards when they added resources,
Mhm.
right? I told you I was going backwards 12, 11, 10, right? So if I go to the spreadsheet, there's this new green line over here that starts in the, as far as I can tell, right? So if I go over here and I go and I can't, I'm not, uh-oh, we have a scaling problem. Little black kitty, little black kitty came in and then, oh, this tab is no go. Magically
Well, you have
reload
a lot of
because
YouTube videos to watch there, Greg.
yeah, right. So exactly. No, this is my system of finding content. I'm looking for podcasts to show up on. So if you look at this green right here, I'm off of the death line of red. This green are the new numbers. I went and looked. I had 33 on Saturday, and I've got 37 now. So all of a sudden, I'm on the blue line, which is the minimum. The blue line is the minimum gonna pass the course by 52 weeks,
Wow.
which is now I'm excited because all these guys, all these let me get this content right here. Um all these guys say the same thing. They say this is a breakdown
I'm going
of
to teach you everything you need to know about positioning, marketing, and sales from an unexpected
I follow
source.
him all the time.
right, and then this is an analysis of a Better Call Saul, several
Mm.
episodes of him of the character selling these cell phones by rebranding the idea as privacy, and then he tries to sell it to kids who are ne'er-do-wells, whatever, and then he figures out how to sell it to bikers. Cat, you're gonna kill me. You're gonna make my heart jump out of my mouth. You're such a cat. Cat spilled something. Anyways, when they get around to a certain point, the guy's talking about blue ocean, red ocean. All these concepts are exactly the same as we hear about, right? We hear the same stuff. Blue ocean, red ocean, you know. So yeah, 52 weeks, I'm back on track, that little green line there, and I'm gonna destroy. I would almost follow Connor's advice of moving past the ICA thing, but I don't know exactly what aspect or what angle I can sell. I know way too much in general. I know way too much. So do we turn it like this? Like, okay, here's a bunch of information. I want it to be a globe. What is the axis by which it will spin? What are the most important things? I do hear some things in the calls. I hear I want to get rid of my partner. I don't want my time that I really worked weekends and evenings and gained 25 pounds to be in vain. I want it to pay off. Those are the two big frustrations for sure. Paying off, not wasting time, and the partner thing. So I could roll forward on that. I'm working on a second video. I got well and sicker than a cold, but I'm almost better. But what can you do? Ken sabes. That
I'm
is
going to
Spanish
the
for who
stage of
knows.
selling yet, but the coach I've been working with, she's been changing my mindset about the approach with clients. She said, what about if it's like co-creation? So you see they have a problem. You have all the answers to all their problem. So it's almost like a creative putting a proposal. Okay, this is the most important thing we work on. And then you structure your proposal and say, okay, what about this? We work for this amount of time, focus on this. Then that can lead to like long-term clients or expand into a group thing. But she was saying I can approach from co-creation. And so we're not selling on the first call, find out what they really want, and then it's almost like creative putting a proposal for a
Yeah.
brand. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the system I learned many years ago to do one-on-one, which is mini projects. Do y'all know what agile project planning is? Have you ever heard of agile or Scrum? So
Yes.
okay,
Scrum in the
so
best. Yeah. Yeah.
Scrum and startups, right? So the short version is you're in Los Angeles, you want to go to Hawaii. In the old Apollo moon project, you would spend a long time planning, you would spend a long time building, you would spend time testing, and then you would put it out there. So in the sailboat version, you would spend lots of time planning and then you would pick a direction and you would just go for a long time and you go, oh crap, we're a little bit like 1,000 miles from Hawaii. Let's turn and go that way. Scrum is like, let's go one day and then measure. Let's go another day. Let's go another day.
Mm.
Let's go another day. And you just make these little changes. So in Scrum, the way, which is a form of Agile, the way they do things in software now is like a 2 week chunk of time, and they
Sprints,
have a
right?
specific set of goals, right? And you have this chart, which is normally a burn down. I made a burn up. You're saying the amount of points that I have. So there's a system for awarding points so that you don't get kind of clogged up. Um, you award points on a Monte Carlo system. You might use prime numbers. You might use Fibonacci numbers. But if you say we have 30 points start, and we're going to have zero in 20 days, this would be an example of, the ideal line is blue, but the reality line is red. And if you're above the red, you're ahead of time. If you're below, I mean, if you're above the blue, you're ahead of schedule. If you're below the blue, you're behind schedule. And there's different pathologies where developers will not check in any code for a while. So here they go from behind to, and that's the opposite of what normally looks like. But there are different kinds of pathologies. You can see here the burn up, burn down. So blue in this case is estimated progress. Ideal is the teal, but then the actual was like we got way ahead and then we didn't check in anything. Oh, then we got ahead again and we barely made it. So as a project manager, you learn to watch for different weirdness in the graph. And that's why I'm using this to panic myself. I turned it so that regular people would be more familiar with 100% is 100%, right? So, gold is this great make-believe world. Blue is the minimum success, and red is the actual nightmare, you know, such as it is. But I mean, I have a lot of plans. What happens if my big mouth gets me run off of Sonny's program? What happens, whatever, health, work. I'm going to be building this thing, which is going to be fairly hard for a month. But I'm still going to be able to make progress. And I am going to win, God willing, and my body doesn't suddenly fall apart. The book thing is the perfect way to get extremely suspicious software people to talk to me for ICAs. The book thing is totally happening. I worked at this company called Draft Digital. They help you get your book going with online vendors like Amazon and all these other places you can get your ebooks done. And they have I worked for this company for a year, and they have a very easy system for taking your like Word document and turning it into a book, into an ebook that will work on every format. I mean, every single format. They are connected to everybody. So you can upload it and push a button as long as you've signed up for those places. Then you're rolling. So yeah. Anyways, I'm going to print my physical book through these guys. I know how to do it. I worked on the engine that makes it work, so I know what not to do. It's easy for most people to figure out, but it's easier. But this is a good intro. There's a bunch of because I live. You know that movie Pleasantville, where it starts off in a black and white world, and then one thing turns color, and the idea of color starts spreading. I live in I live in Pleasantville, or Happy Days, that set 1970s American TV show. I live in this alternate reality where kids playing sports is more important than fascism in our own country. People don't know anything about what the president's. Oh, presidents, he does his thing, but oh yeah, hey, OU, woohoo, OU tennis, OU ping pong, Oklahoma University. So yeah, this is when you live in the old world, an ancient world. This whole, oh, we've invited a speaker to talk about his new book that is about making your startup invulnerable to problems and selling it. I still haven't gotten that language down, but I have definitely revolutionized. I mean, I have boiled my transformation statement way down,
Mm.
way down. It is much simpler. And I help founders set up not to fail in an acquisition again. That's it. I help founders set up to not fail in an acquisition again. Simple. You're a founder, you're interested in acquisition, and you've had failure before. Meets all
Yeah.
my conditions, all the vitamins.
Yeah.
Yep. Good times.
Yeah, I have a list of coming out of Connor's talk from last week, our meeting. Um, I really liked his like little one-liner and it got me thinking about more. So I have a little sticky note that I put a few on. And then I've got calendars, big wall calendars from last year where I can use the back of it. And my plan is to just put those little one-liners kind of around on the page and just look at it and see what it feels like. And also I can add to it and see like how I feel when I read them. And then I've also put them into chat GPT and asked it to give me variations, just to like give me some, different words. Because chat GPT has been programmed for my not only what I expect from it, so it doesn't give me people pleasing language. I just want like direct answers. And I wanted to not, I wanted to tell me if it doesn't know something instead of just make shit up. So I've got a good chat GPT kind of process happening now where I'm not frustrated with it. But
Nice.
I want it
Okay.
to I want it to give me some other variations. And they often aren't ones that I actually use, but it gets you thinking. And that's what I've realized that AI is doing. It's not creative enough to come up with things that are actually creative, but they can spark creativity in us. So that's what I do with like school stuff. So, like, for example, I find it's very useful for things, and I can trust it for things like my HR test yesterday. I input like a whole bunch of questions that I needed to know, and I just said, give me some really basic learning material with this, and it kind of gave me some answers. And I said, okay, give me some quiz questions based on this. So it's really great to kind of like get you thinking about things in a different way and to maybe ask you questions in different ways just to kind of prepare you. But you can't rely on it to come up with things. I'm using it as it giving me ideas. So even if I was to like read, like let's say I'm doing an assignment and I say, answer this question for me that I'm supposed to answer, it'll give me like a one paragraph answer. And it's always like, would you like me to make this into a cut and paste format for you to put into your assignment? I'm like, no, like I'm not gonna do that. But what it does is when I read it, it starts to give me ideas. And so I read it, it gets me thinking about it, and then it gets me going. And then I go into my assignment sheet and then I can put in my thoughts because it's almost like it kind of like helps to free flow things. And I'm not using it word for word. I'm helping it to almost like start creativity in me. And that's what I felt like with Connor last week is I don't necessarily feel like his suggestions to me are a fit in the sense that he doesn't know me, he doesn't know my situation, so he's going to give me his opinions based on the limited information I gave him.
Yeah.
But just the conversation and his energy and what he said, I was like, I really, really, really like this. And it's giving me such a boost. And I'm recognizing that his style is one of two ways that I need to be motivated. So I need that very like to the point, impatient, almost, like whatever,
What's next?
be like boom, boom, this is what you need to do, boom, 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 boom.
Military stuff.
Right? Because part of me doesn't do well with that, and part of me finds it very motivating and very encouraging, and I need that. But I also need the um, empathetic, give you a hug, let's walk you through this kind of person. So it's almost like I need two different coaches, if you know what I mean.
Hmm.
One that kicks you in the butt in the sense of, you can do this, but I also need that support and nurturing.
Like
And
mom
it's
and dad.
right, that's exactly what it is. And so he really, really motivated me last week to do a number of things, and I loved his ideas. And I'm like, I would totally work with Connor because this side of it, when I'm at that point, I find it would be very effective for the things that I need him for in that aspect. And I would also need someone to talk things through with and go slow and share my feelings. And he's not that guy, but he would be very efficient, I think, and very effective in the other areas that I would need because neither of them alone are going to work. Because one will have me drag things on forever, all the feelings and all of the things, which I need, which is kind of what we gave each other here for this past year in some sense. But I also need someone but I also can't just have that because to me that's not enough, like for me to actually like work from inside to just have someone kind of, be that higher energy kind of person. So all that to say, after our chat last week, I went and I recorded a video for my channel. I decided I definitely do need to put content out there. And I made a video and it was 10 minutes and it's really great. And
Oh, super
with it.
cool.
And I'm going to
Okay.
do a part two this week. Hopefully today or tomorrow, I'm going to do a part two to it because I want to release them together. And then I think I feel good about keeping going. It was really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Longer form content than what you're making, Greg, but same idea. I
Oh,
did it.
I'm going there. I'm going there, but I am not the queen of video like you. Ha. No.
I'm not a short form content person. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I find it very weird for me to try to like get this hook line go like I can't. I just want to sit down. I want to talk. The only editing I did, Greg, is the very beginning where I stopped and started and stopped and started and I didn't pause the video. I just kept going. I just kept going. I just kept going finally. And then
Okay.
I flipped to a picture of my friend because I can record while I'm looking at something else on the camera and I talked to her and it was interesting because I recorded my voice. Um, so I started off with pretending that I was on a video chat with my friend, and I talked to her in the tone of voice that I would if I was on a WhatsApp call, like or a video call, like with you guys here.
Yeah.
And then I started into the content, and I stopped, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was getting like way further away from that energy and the my voice. So then I calmed myself down and then I started talking to my friend again and then I started again. So I kind of did that a few times and I think my video came out with it's not perfect. But I felt comfortable with it. I didn't feel weird.
Mm.
So, and then I just cut that. So all my editing entailed was me cutting that first chunk off, starting where I wanted, and then cutting the very last little bit where I'm like reaching for the camera to stop it. All the editing I did. I'm not taking out the ums. I'm not
Yeah.
taking out pauses. Editing is not going to be very long. I'm just literally slicing and dicing like I do for my reading channel. And I'm not doing an intro. I'm not doing an outro. I'm not doing music. I recycled one of my reading channel thumbnail pictures and put it into a different thumbnail. Took me maybe 20 minutes, maybe half an hour to do that on Adobe Express or whatever I used for it. I can't remember now. And I'm done. I uploaded it to YouTube already. It's waiting to be released with the second one. Editing is not. So whatever Connor's describing
Yeah.
as $500 per episode, not needed. People aren't going to care about the bling and inserting pictures and whatever.
I hate starting music and I hate that it looks like 2004 when someone's got this 12-second intro with titles and
When you're
you know.
interested, but I also think about the fact that with Connor, his audience is going to be actually watching the video because they want to see what he's doing. My audience is going to be listening and feeling to what I'm saying. It's going to be busy people. They're not going to sit there and watch 10 minutes, same as what I do, right? Like you're creating content for people who are like you. What I do is I multitask. I listen and I'm doing something else. I don't ever really see the videos unless it's a content where they're showing things on the screen. And I'm not doing that. I don't need to. I'm literally just talking and giving ideas and sharing my experience and creating thoughts and creating questions and, putting things together for people and validating. You don't need to watch to have that. And I think my audience is not going to be the ones to sit there and watch for 10 minutes. So I don't need anything fancy. I'm just going to sit and talk because likely the majority of the people that I will be attracting will be just like me, which means they're going to be listening.
That's
Right.
amazing.
It is.
So this
Do you
is why
think in the future you can
great.
just do it like when someone asks you a question and you like recording back and you can just blur out their face or like sensitive information? So it's almost like putting your video to your friend directly onto YouTube and then
Oh,
don't
that
even
was
have
a comment
yeah.
that Connor said. He wants to review sales videos, but not with all the sensitive information. He goes he was extremely uncomfortable with the way that he was told to do it.
Yes, you said that in the
Mhm.
call. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, clinical. He talked about it some more, and I was like, oh no,
yeah.
yeah.
That also felt weird to me because you're telling these people that you're going to record. Like if my call, a sales call with somebody was used on some other platform where thousands of people would see it, that would be really uncomfortable for me. Because the way that we record it with people, we tell them for our own use. And
Mm.
here we are using it
No, they had some.
with
They had a
thousands of
paper.
people
Yeah, no,
watching.
they had a paper. They had some kind of paper, but man, still, yipes.
Like additional permission, is it? Or,
Yeah, depends on the country. There's no doubt about
oh.
it, though. It's definitely sketch.
Yeah, that yeah, I didn't feel comfortable with. But having someone like Connor review it for me when you're working with a coach one-on-one, I think that'd be fantastic.
Mhm. So,
Yeah,
um, Greg, do you think it's still worth watching the replay while we have access or
of the meetings in general.
yeah.
It's up to you. I mean, to me, I definitely, and I've tried to solicit an opinion out of Connor, and he won't do it. Which is, I know I'm a troublemaker. I don't want to make trouble, but I'm willing to be the guy in the crowd that claps a little too loud first, to get it to go. I met my wife that way. I met a couple girlfriends that way. I love what I love, and I do everything from the heart, and I'm just not one of those, because the whole screen is full of these older people like me going. you know, all looking very suspicious or sedated. I'm not sure. Both. I'm not sure. But I said, I know I'm the trouble guy, but I'm really trying to get the content out of what I'm trying to get. I have a good friend who's just now retired after having a fairly bad police car type accident. I met him in 2000 at this forensic photography seminar, 40 hours. That was part of a two-part to get a certificate. So you take the first 40 week-long deal, and then you pick 30 out of 37 exemplar topics. I'm much better at tools and firearms and all the metal stuff. And so I picked those, and you do all those exemplars and you send them in one at a time. And if you get approved, you move on to the next one. So 4 years later, I'm supposed to go to, no, let's see, I took the first one in 99. Yeah, and the second one was going to be 2001 in New York City the week after 9/11. So that was obviously canceled. Um, and so it ended up being 2004 when I took the second one. And I'm the kind of guy that puts my hand up and I want to know. I really want to understand what's going on. I try to wait to the end of a chunk, etc., to see if they answer it. And after the first day, this hulkingly huge monster police officer is like, "Look, man, I'm here to sleep. You are waking me up. You're pissing me off, and my friends are pissed off too. And here's all these other guys with, forearms the size of my thigh. Rawr." And I said, "Look, man, unlike you guys, I paid to be here. I need to know this shit. Okay? I need to know it. You guys are chillaxing. God bless. But I need to know it. So get some earplugs." And I was willing to stand up to that guy. I'm not a puny baby, but I'm not a warrior, holy moly. And I'm totally friends with that guy now because by the third day he was like, "Oh shit, I need to know this too. This is the guy I should talk to in case I missed a thing. This guy's a living pile of notes." So yeah, he called me Post It for a while. I didn't love that, but I know how nicknames go. Don't fight it, just whatever. But yeah, it's I want my money's worth, and I know I can be useful to them as a foil or whatever. Otherwise, people just sit there. They just sit
Mm.
there. So whatever. But Connor was too pro. He would be like, "Oh no, we never spoke of you," and I'm like, "Wrong. I
Wrong. You're
wrong
you're
answer."
you're the red name in the files.
Well, I mean, because I am a perfect example to point to for my own purposes. And I have another video for you guys to look at about a guy, and I'm terrible at finishing points, but I'm coming back around, I swear. I'm coming back around. And so there's this guy who's got a video that I saw randomly about managing your customers in cohorts. So he's talking like two or three cohorts a year. My friend, my acquaintance, Danny was doing that, massive one new cohort each week all the way through March and then stop and it goes 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, school's out. That was crazy, but it put him from I have $500,000 in my retirement to $4.5 million in 7 years of doing that. Not bad. He's totally retired. His he doesn't answer any of my socials anymore. His wife says he has a flip phone. He just buys a flip phone at whatever country they get to and just has a flip phone, calls into a cloud phone system. So I left him a message saying, "Listen to me, you giant fuzzy bastard with nasty toenails. Call me back sometime." So he called me yesterday, which was cool. But there's ways of managing stuff. And, to Patty's point, it could be like, I relate to this personally. You have to go through my boot camp thing, which is not that expensive. Let's say it's $1,500. Let's say it's 4 weeks. You've got to understand the basics so we can move forward and operate on a common playing field. We all know the same radio procedures. We all know how the car works. We all know the weapons policy. We all know the same stuff. Went to the academy, know the same stuff. But now we can do what you want to do, and instead of me explaining, and this was my fail in my previous one-on-one work, instead of explaining everything from the ground up, which if you're a time and materials therapist, bueno, right? Keep talking. No, it was not efficient. It's not efficient. So if you already know about the selling your companies like selling your car, but you have to ride in the trunk for 2 years, if you already know that meme, we're moving on. We're working at a higher level. We're working faster, more efficiently. Calls are shorter and more useful.
So you're saying no to cohorts.
So I could do cohorts like not Danny style, but like I could do 5 or 6 a year or whatever, and that's part of the whole build up excitement, launch, build up excitement, launch, build up
Which is what
excitement, launch.
Connor said was difficult or potentially difficult for the
I
reasons
I
that
hate launches. I don't personally
yeah.
hate them. I hate them for the people I've helped. Man, they stress out. They stress
And I
out.
don't my goal is not to have the stress. I don't want to stress.
So yeah, an automated boot camp with a continuity program. You get, let's say you get a total of 6 months from the beginning of the day of. So 4, 6, 8 week, whatever boot camp.
Yeah,
Finish it at your own pace. I like that. And then you get the remainder of 6 months, and then you just buy more if you need more. If you don't need more, bye bye. Mazel.
got it.
Good luck.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking ahead, like I'm not even there. But the interesting thing is that my classes are now, collimating. Sorry, my course is now, my college course is now collimating into courses that are actually setting up businesses. So we've had a year and a half of a baseline, and now all of my courses are focusing on setting up businesses in different ways. So, for example, I have a small business operations course, which has a group project where we're doing a group business, and then I have an individual project. And for that individual project, I'm setting up my business as a pet owner support consultant. So I'm starting from start to finish. Right now, I'm in the process. We did already the database search on the government website where they group your businesses
Category.
into
Right.
N whatever they're called, and NOCs,
Yeah.
National
Yeah,
Operation.
it's
But
NAICS in America. It's that's like what your
yeah,
area, and that affects how your trademarks work too. Your
yeah.
trademarks are in one or more NAICSs.
So we've started from there. Last week's assignment was for me to do competitive advantage. So like we're doing this, right? So I'm basically setting up a business and it's something I'm interested in. In another one of my classes that's for sales and marketing, I am focusing on a product that I'm making, which is the catnip knots, which I already make, but we're again starting from sales marketing. We're again looking at competitive advantage. We're looking at breaking down our customer niches and customer needs. And so I'm focusing on this product, which so it's so interesting because I'm able to utilize things that I'm already doing, so I have familiarity with it. Oh, and I have another vet tech in one of my groups, so we're doing veterinary things, which is really useful.
Oh my gosh.
But it's interesting because, I mean, she's in a clinic, she's a manager, so she's focused on like actual clinic stuff. She's not focused on pet owner stuff. So that's why I'm doing my individual project on things that I'm interested in.
Oh
But
wow.
we're doing great with our group projects because we know a lot about it, right? The industry and how things flow. So it's really interesting that I'm able to do that. And I'm fully taking advantage of this semester to do it because it's going to give me a little bit different spin than Sunny's course, but it's the same thing, but it's a little bit different. It's focusing on different processes where Sunny's getting a lot of that information from trying it with ICAs. Like I'm seeing that she's rolling a lot of the processes into the ICA process. And maybe that's why to me it seems like her focus is more on ICA. But now I'm kind of seeing that she's rolling a lot of things into the ICA process that people generally do separately when they're researching and assessing and analyzing business operations. So that's interesting. Um, because she doesn't want to take you through all that, and she probably never did any of it herself, right? Because she doesn't have a business background. So she's doing things intuitively, and then in class we're doing things like systematically, right? And so, and I think like the way that I like kind of lies in between somewhere. So it's interesting that I'm doing both. But yeah, the nice thing is that I can focus on that, but it's continuously also giving me ideas. It's letting me see. It's making me research. And I'm finding no one out there that's going to be doing what I'm doing or what I have imagined. Because
Right.
even when I was doing the competitive advantage and comparing other businesses, it's nowhere near the same. So it was interesting to do that. I did that this weekend.
There's been various military people over the course of time that have said the same thing over and over again. Duke Wellington, Duke, Duke of, no, wait, no, Lord Wellington? Anyways, Eisenhower, plans are worthless, planning is invaluable. You could say school is worthless, but knowing things is invaluable. College is a way to accumulate information. You can love it, hate it, or whatever, make fun of it or whatever. But every to the point of that guy who was the one man luge from the Philippines that I know, um, you can only spend every day one way. Sunny knows what she knows, but I guarantee she also buys tons of advice because she's smart. I,
Absolutely.
I, li-
Absolutely. You need it. Yeah, because
I
you get
literally
some.
break down everybody like, do you buy advice or not?
Yeah.
And people like me, tech people, they do not buy advice. They're rarely even going to buy an $18 Udemy course, which is why they remain slaves, robotnika, and they are in the engine compartment of the enterprise, but they don't get to choose where it goes. I
Which
swear to
is
God,
why
they're
they're
so
not your
willingly,
ICA. Your
which is why they're
ICA
not
is
my
the
ICA.
entrepreneur minded
Huzzah!
people, not the technical.
Huzzah!
Yes.
Huzzah! I have to use reactions. Let's use reactions, everybody. Woo! That is Anna
I
for
don't
the
even
wind.
know where that is.
Anna
Oh,
for the wind. Little rockets steering her along, very, very
I'm just
agile.
gonna do the laughing face because I'm very giggly today.
Why
So,
not? No, but this is
yeah.
exactly. My wife would say the same thing. They are not your customer. Don't worry about it. See ya. Bye. Enjoy slavery. There you
The one
go.
other thing I wanted to mention coming out of Connor's thing, I went on school and I looked for groups to see what's out there for pet owners. And I've been in the back of my mind for a long time thinking that I really want to make like a how-to video on how to make the catnip toys that I make. Because I can go into the whole thing of why cats like catnip, why only 70% of the cats like catnip, and those that don't like it, like there's scientific research behind why only certain cats like the catnip and what other things that people usually use that cats will be attracted to. All of these things. And I'm like, I really want to make a really quick little course on how to make it. So I already imagined it in my mind. I've already looked. It's $10 a month. I already have course content in my brain floating around in there because I've been thinking about this for a long time. And I think I want to create on top of that, included with it, a little cat community on school, starting with let's make catnip treats. And every week, or maybe every 2 weeks, I'll devote an hour to be online. I don't know if you can be live on there or not. I have to explore that. But let's meet
Yeah,
and let's make our catnip treats or once a month. And,
right.
I'm trying to think of ways that I can build community with like-minded people. And I thought, it's $10 a month. What if I make it like $1 for people to join? And if I get, let's say 10, 15 people, that more than pays for my monthly, $9 US.
You'll have to switch. I guarantee you'll have to switch to the heavy duty version, relatively quickly, the $99 version. That's
And
okay.
I wasn't sure what the limits were.
Yeah.
There's
They
also
know
like
exactly what they're
Patreon as
doing.
well, isn't it? Patreon.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
okay, so to that point, so I'm big thumbs up on what you're saying because you're demonstrating expertise as a side effect of giving, right? So this whole book thing for me is exactly the same thing. It works with certain kinds of people. Number one, it is an entree that will actually get me in front of every technical entrepreneur group in Oklahoma City, of which I used to go to like 12 different ones. So people know me. Again, hello, instigator. I ask questions. There are some people who are in Oklahoma City, me and three other guys who were known in the 10 years I lived there of if somebody cancels as a speaker, I will roll in and I will give a different talk that is interesting. Emergency substitute speaker. And I have a humongous Google Drive full of slide presentations exactly like that. So this is a chance to give to people. And I don't even think I would charge for the ebook version at all. I would charge what this is going to cost me in person per se. If I'm smart, I would just give it away. If I'm smart, right, I would just give it away. But Frank Kern and other conventional marketeers say if you sell this to someone online for $7, which includes in the US, there's a special subsidized media mail for books and learning materials. If you send it, if you can get it in their hands for $7, you've trained them to pay you and that you delivered something. So it's that two-way give thing. That's a psychological that's debatable, right? But it is
And
what
let
it
me give
is.
you an example of that. I purchased an online book from somebody who does body work and neurological body work. So what she does is she helps you with orientation. She calls it orienting yourself in space. So like
Mm,
body posture and how to hold yourself so that you're aligned and your body recognizes like a normal posture to help
that's very
start
Hollywood. Yeah.
called I think it's called unwinding. I don't know. Anyway, the interesting thing was you could purchase a book version of it, or you could purchase the 9.99 version of it, which was the book that you could print out yourself, which is what I did, and I put it into a folder. And to me, when I think of that, I have an urgency to be like, oh, I really gotta do this. I really gotta do this. I really gotta do this. Again, not because I paid for it and I'm like, oh, I paid for it, so I got to use it, but it does give you that certain feeling versus other free courses that I've signed up for where I haven't even looked at it and I think nothing of it.
That's
But so
that's
that's a
me.
little transactional. And again, it's not because like I'm stingy, but it just gives you a little bit of an elevated feeling that it's something of more value because you paid for it, even if it's a small amount.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to get people in the door, but the traditional format is $7 book, upsell to a $49 mini course, try for the 9.99. That's a fail, and then downsell to the 249, and that's like, that's 2015 marketing explained in one sentence. So it is what it is. I get it. Multiple courses is horseshit. Look at how much trouble anybody we know has getting courses. And one of the things I could say regarding the comments that you were making while I was off camera fixing my tea and my throat, which I'm going to go do some more of in a second, is that I am definitely every single call, I scan through all the pages, the faces, and update the mental map. There are people who are plenty of new people who don't even know about before. Yay, okay, plus one. But there's plenty of people who have moved on, and I go verify in LinkedIn that they have moved on. There's like six people who are definitely talking about Basecamp. They're still in these calls, but they're talking about being in Basecamp already.
Hmm. The
But they
content of
don't. Oh,
calls.
sorry, you go.
Oh, go ahead,
I
Patty.
also I don't because they how they say it's by application, but I don't think they filter people through because when they're doing
Why
the
would they?
whole launch, yeah, like when they're doing the launch, they say, yeah, this is based on application, but then it's like, oh, okay, someone purchased, so they haven't gone through the application, they just leave it in.
Well, I think it's a combo, but it's a very simple application. Do you have a pop? Did you sell it? Are you moving forward?
Mm.
Right? That you can't just keep going. Let's say there's Bad Greg who is getting nothing done, but just loves to be part of the community. So Bad Greg is just occupying their time and raising the hand a lot, but making no progress. Not struggling with GDJCMF, as we say in the South, losing recordings of ICAs. Doesn't matter. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. But let's say there's Bad Greg that just is hanging out, like a retired person who's got that needs something to do kind of attitude. No, no, I'm a hustler. I've been a hustler for billion plus seconds, and I'm going to get it done. But I swear. But let's say that person, oh, I want to go to base camp because base camp sounds like fun. Yay! That's a huge waste of time for everybody. So the whole point of we're supposed to get up to a pop and then we're supposed to know more things. I don't if it's 5 grand a year for base camp or 6,000 if you make monthlies, what is the discount? I don't know that yet. I know I've heard new people say in private chat, they've said it's 5 grand. So that better not be the discounted price because I'm gonna get like sticker
I
shock.
mean, it would be a disservice if you have a pop lunch, but that pop is not a proper offer. Like if they've gone completely wrong direction.
Right. But
Like
if
they
you
would.
if you got a bunch of people to pay for your pop and they finished it, you're
Mhm.
on the right track, I think, right? I mean, again, white guys with hands, but you're supposed to get all the way. If this right here, where my shirt ends, if that is the end of your first pop, that's the split between base camp and ascent, right? So ascent, you've gotten up to base camp, 11,000 feet, 3,000 meters, 3,500 meters. Yeah, 3,500, 3,700 meters. Anyways, you've gotten here, and now you need to know more to go into your SOP and the new version of YouTube and the growth, the scaling, right? You need according to Sunny, you have to get all the way to testimonials before you're successful. And I'll say it again. When Sunny put up, I was right on the fence. I started off with 5 courses. I went quickly down to 3, quickly down to 2, and it was Sunny versus a high five brotastic guy. And then she put out her first 50 testimonials. I was like, bingo. You know, yeah, the energy is way closer to what I can tolerate. And the other guy's out of business, by the way. The guy I almost gave my money to is out of business for whatever reason. I don't even know why. He's gone. So his model, whatever. And he was more money. But he was like
Mm.
Las Vegas stage, graduation, here's your plaque, and all this stuff. None of that works on me. You know, none of your Jedi mind tricks work on me. I don't care about any of that stuff. I mean, I didn't ask for this. This was given to me. This is part of the Silicon Valley game, especially in the 90s. But I've talked to some VCs just last week that have 400 of these on their wall behind them. 400. Because you get one for each round, A, B, C. It's everything you participate in, you get a brick. Whatever. It's de rigueur and it's boring. You know, when Bruce Lee started, making his movies. He had competed in the Olympics in Taekwondo, and in the rules in 1964 Olympics Taekwondo, no touching. No touching? That's like dance. That's like they're just jumping around and making crazy sounds. That's like, what are you talking about, bro? I'm gonna touch you. Grr. You know, I'm gonna touch you good. You're gonna have a memory of it or no memory at all. I'm gonna
That's
help you take a vacation. That's the point. Exactly. So yeah, I think they were in the no touching era at that point. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But I am so glad, and I have to point out, and I'm using my finger, which is all socially not correct, that Patty is completely comfortable about talking about this coach and completely comfortable, new finger, completely comfortable about, I'm going to make my course this way, or I'm going to have two different ones based on what's going on. I'm going to shelve this one and think about it for a little while. And I think that's fantastic. It's a big difference. You're not
Mhm.
improved. You're still excellent. You were excellent back then, but you have accumulated, digested, and one more point which occurred to me in the middle of the night is that hi, hello, black cat. We are back. We do what we want because we are cat. I will now plop, and I will now let you touch my putties because I was desensitized at an early age. Come on, flop. Show me the epic flop. Come on, flop for the ladies. You're gonna fold your head under and you're gonna flop. She's like, I don't do what you tell me to do. I've got big eyes. I might bite you a little bit. Nice cat. Aren't you gonna flop over? Cats, they just know. They know they're on camera. They don't do. The
Cat.
point
Mhm.
is, I think we needed the time we needed to get to where we're going, where we're at. We're like a big ship that turns really slowly, and it's just like it is. I don't respond well to you are in a factory, you are on a conveyor belt. You are going to get squished, smushed, shaped, polished, put in a package, wrapped up. I don't respond to that super great. I had to get there.
Well, that's what I'm saying with the urgency is like, let's say I don't get to the end of the course by October for whatever reason. Is that the end of the world? Am I still going to feel like I got my money's worth or that it was worthwhile? Or, like that's kind of the things. And that's why I'm thinking, can I still use the content to move forward of what's going to remain available to us with the AA
Yeah, sure,
fleet?
but look, we're right here. We're doing okay. I mean, we're like literally right here. We got a long ways to go. Okay, including a summer, right? Including a summer. What if I was going to wish some magical things for you, and it wouldn't be some husband guy? It would be like two or three more useful sisters. Because when I was a kid, I got sent off to all my aunties, one per summer to go to different have different experiences. That's why I'm in Oklahoma because my auntie was going to school in Tahlequah, which is in the Cherokee Nation north of here. And but summer's coming. You're going to have some time for some more. Who
I know
knows?
as of April, I'm going to be done. So May, June, July, Eli's going to be in camp. So I will have free time.
Wow. And I know you. You're a schemer. You're going to have a plan by then, and you're going to achieve something that you want to achieve. Hey, I mean, you do it.
You know what? Like, I definitely do not want to get married unless it's someone who's successful and I don't have to worry about money again. Because what's the point? I'm not going to struggle with two people. At 45,
No
like,
more, no more adult-sized children.
no, no. And I mean, I've been with successful people. It's not like I've been with bums, but at 45,
Yeah.
I'm definitely with a child not going to be with a bum. In the sense of, like I don't want to be with someone who's like 20-year-old or just, still struggling artist or some crap.
Yeah.
I want someone who's got like some oomph to them, but I want to also do my own thing and be successful. And if it gets to the point where I don't have to work at some point and I just do fun things that I want to do, that's great. But I want to know that I can support myself because that person may not come around for another couple of years. And what am I going to do? I'm not waiting around. But I also needed time to feel successful. Sorry, I also needed time to feel balanced so that I can do the things to be successful because that's the whole, it all comes down to how well is your nervous system regulated? Can you handle this?
Are
Because
you are
things
you in a position where you can receive the gift that is the right person?
exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing. And I needed all of this time because I'm trying to do all of this work to prepare myself while I'm already stretched for other things, right? Like I'm doing so many jobs at once already, squeezing in a little bit of time to like work on myself on a daily basis, which I have managed, has not been easy and it's taken longer, you know? I would have loved to be the kind of person that was single and didn't have kids, and I would realize I needed all this work on myself. And I would have been like, yeah, I'm just gonna go do my job, my 9 to 5. I mean, I owned my own house. I had no cares, I had a good job. I paid for everything. And I would have been like, I'm just taking, my 3 weeks of vacation. I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna go to like a retreat for 2 weeks where it's all about me and working on myself.
And
Right?
how little would you get done? How
I
little?
that's, I could have condensed all of my self-work and untangling things into shorter periods, but I couldn't. Like the reality of it is I couldn't. I'm not like, with Connor, that's why it's like, well, you just got to do this to launch. It's like, yes, Connor, that's if I had everything lined up in the perfect scenario, I would do that. But I can't. And it's not because I don't want to, but because I need to
He
make the
seems like a
investment.
great guy, but he's got 100 months of runway. I don't think his experience and my experience are the same thing. 100 months.
No. And he also doesn't have a wife who's going to experience what I'm experiencing. He has no clue, right?
Yeah,
And
and
by
we're all on different paths.
no
Yeah,
fault of
absolutely.
his own, it's absolutely no fault of his own, but then it's up to me to realize that he can't recognize what I need. And to be fair, we've only met and he only knew a very, short amount of,
Of course.
or brief amount of things about me. So I had to take what he said and say, how can I apply this? Because I agree with him, but how can I make what he said and from what he said fit into my life? And I did just that, and it was great. So I loved his advice. It's not something that's going to be a cut and paste for me, like maybe it would be in a different circumstance or down the line, but I definitely found his advice valuable, and it was really helpful for me to have that call.
Last year, about this time, right after Christmas, I had my wife noticed I had about 4 weeks of low energy, and my body was moving around. I was doing stuff, chores, but I had come to the conclusion, and I had a little dose of that a couple weeks ago when I started this list. When I started this list of cards, okay, and it's like 60 plus now. If that's, by the way, if that's not a book, that's I'm done. I'm ready, okay? But I came to the conclusion after re-reviewing these things, and I had it in my mind. I was able within a week and a half to write all this down. Plenty, plenty. Do you feel overloaded? Do you want me to talk all these ideas in one long sentence like this and not even take a breath because I'm from LA and I can do that? I don't even need air. Um, no, hell no, please no, please no. Here, I'll send you $5. Shut up. But this is a monument like the size of Borobudur in Indonesia, that series of 10,000 temples with those amazing 8 foot tall, 20-foot long carved sections of bas relief depicting specific Buddhist stories and histories. This is a monument the size of Borobudur to my failure. This is an indictment of how much I suck. Okay, like, well, you could look at it like that, or these are my scars.
Hmm.
These are my battle wounds. I would play you a section of Lawrence of Arabia where Anthony Quinn in brown face, he's a Mexican, but he's playing an Arab with a waxy looking nose. And yes, that is not cool anymore. But he goes to this speech, which is now my second. Now I worked on the restoration of Lawrence of Arabia. Now it's my second favorite speech. But I am a river to my people. 26 wounds my body bears because I have in battle, blah, 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 and I am a river to my people. Well, that's how I feel about my fam. But, but a river of what? We all had to go through what we had to go through. This is the evolution. This took a minute to process. This crap is what I have to offer.
Yes.
There's people who have do this, do this, do this plans, recipes. There's all kinds of people who are shinier and more qualified than me. I'm just a regular Joe. I would have been a tow truck driver by default. My path, if you look at this graph again, my path right here, my red path was tow truck driver. My blue path was LAPD cop. That was me reaching a little bit higher. College degree, cop. Okay? I did something completely different. And I achieved, and I have and huzzah, now I can talk about it in the past. But I am especially qualified to talk about how to not get done over poorly. I would use a stronger word, but there's ladies present. Elena says, "Thank you, Greg." I can help people not get taken advantage of with these standard scams that the VCs do. Number one version, valuation. How does anybody come up with valuation? It's garbage. It's garbage. It's make believe. It's nonsense. So guess what? If it's nonsense, then the reasons they chip you down are like a derivative of nonsense. It's like nonsense squared. Right there. I am totally spilling the beans. Here comes the ninja hit squad going to kill me because I'm spilling the beans. But the beans are like why people are working weekends and evenings. That's why their relationships falling apart, or maybe their relationship fall apart and they turn to this instead, or whatever. May I draw you a picture?
Please
Of
do.
course. Yeah.
This is I hate to say this is kind of like one of the more valuable things that I've come up with. New whiteboard. Stretch, I'm using my mouse for the first time in quite a while. Let's get a rectangle, a bouncy rectangle. I will take this rectangle and I will make it my very own. Okay, you guys have heard this speech before. This is this is your starting condition. Okay? And this is your over here is your dream. I could just type again. Dream outcome. Yes, I want it to be centered because that's more fun. Okay, dream outcome. How do you get there? The easy route that most science-minded people would say is, oh, I'm gonna go from here to there. Okay, and both of these axes represent change. But let's say maybe this is time, maybe this is time, maybe it's distance. Okay, a combination, maybe it's finance. Most projects take all those things, right? But it's a form of change. And let's say this axis is specifically um, painful change. Maybe they have a let's make it vertical. Maybe they don't. Maybe they have a let's spell it right. English, English. Remember, it's like my fourth language. It's like I'm so far down the road from English. Okay, so painful change. So what is the most realistic reality by which you could actually get there? There's two ways. Let's call it the red way and the blue way. So if I just make a hand drawn line, something, oh no, something like this. Okay, there's this way, and I've seen people do this way, and I've seen people do it the other way. And I'm just going to draw these and then we'll talk over it. Mostly something like this. Okay, we're gonna. Have you guys heard me draw this before? This drawing? You're muted, Anna. So no, I saw no. Okay, so okay, so pick an extreme sport. Anybody? X Games, something crazy and dangerous that they show on MTV back when they had MTV. X Games, right? Pick a crazy sport. Crazy.
I don't know.
Something dangerous. Okay, let's say you love riding motorcycles off cliffs with parachutes like Tom Cruise. Okay,
Okay.
where's a great place to do that? Not Saudi Arabia, flat, barely any mountains at all, nothing. Okay, how about Switzerland? Okay, so you live in some just generic place, and you wish you were in, Switzerland. Okay, now here's the question. You're with somebody in a relationship. Do you A, drag them along and try to change them into a person who wants to jump motorcycles off mountains with parachutes? Do you drag them to Switzerland and change their life? Or do you just go, sorry, this is my life dream. Have a good life. I'll help you move out because I'm giving up the apartment. Bye bye. That sounds brutal. But are you going to go with no encouragement, with no chance of knowing anybody, you have no positive feedback, are you going to just go for it? Are you going to make the big painful change, go to Switzerland, learn how to ride a motorcycle, learn how to parachute, and that's all crazy? Are you going to do it that way? It's rarely this middle perfect diagonal route. It's rarely that way. There's two ways to go, and I've seen it a bajillion times since I've come up with this metaphor. I call this the garage door. diagram. I haven't come up with a better name for it yet, but it seems like one of the axes is much longer than the other. The change is different on one axis, and there seems to be the painful early break and then mutation where people turn into what they want to be, or they do this. One foot is nailed to the floor, but I'm going to reach all the way over for this. I'm going to push my life partner in a direction they don't want to go, and then there's an unintended or unanticipated explosion, some kind of life change, because you were not being realistic. Do you meet somebody there? You become the person, is the point. You become the person you want to be, and then you find someone who is aligned already doing the thing you want to do, being who you want to be.
I can totally see a visual of this in my mind, Greg. Like totally, totally fits into what you described with, and the blue line. And if you think about it, you kind of potentially take the same route, same distance, same time, same pain level, but it's different
Yep.
because they're the discomfort of the new. And so you still need strength and bravery and you're still scared. But when you're doing the blue line, it just feels a lot heavier because you're dragging something with you to make it happen, right? Like you're
Yep.
still scared, but it's not scared because you have this illusion that someone is with you, but it just seems like it's way more difficult to do the blue line because you're dragging this heavy, brick around, right? Like this ginormous, Egyptian brick that you're trying to drag
Oh,
as
like one of those really big ones. Yeah. Oh
yes.
my God.
That's what I picture. So yeah, and it's like they're both going to be hard, but do you want pain and suffering for yourself where you're exhausted all the time and it's just a load? Or do you just get brave and do all of the unknown, right? One is known and
Right.
one is unknown. And it takes a different kind of bravery and mindset to do the unknown.
And see this thing right here? There is we I need a little mushroom cloud. So there's like a mushroom cloud that happens right here. If you watch these videos, like I'm really interested in failure. I study failure. I've been interested in failure my whole life. If you look at how they bend the wing at Boeing on a 787 and bend it in like in a static test fixture in a shed. So they've got a fuselage with one wing on it, and they bend it and they bend it and bend it, and then boom, it fails suddenly. If you push someone where they don't want to go, agreeable people for survival reasons will go along with the program for a while, but there will be an explosive decompression, and this is where the other person goes their happy way back down towards the world that they were already comfortable with. Not,
Yeah.
and this is, I would put this in book six or what I call it book six. Man, I don't want to write six books. I put it in the junk book that's got cinematic lifestyle design and this because I have to try to make sense out of the stuff that's happened. And if I detect a pattern, my wife has gotten me very much more intuitive. If I feel there's a pattern, then I can look back and then I can set some bear traps. I think the pattern is this way, but I'll set some bear traps along in a on a cone. And I know that people don't want me to come and change them. I know that's a fact now, right? So
Well,
no,
it comes down to the word carnage. And when I look at those two lines, Greg, it comes down to carnage. And when you're looking at your own personal journey, and I can equate this to my childhood, when you are doing the red line, and it's just you, there's always going to be, and carnage is like basically the people that you leave behind, right? That you leave, whatever. So the interesting thing is with the red line, when you're doing it single, your partner, your business, your workplace, or whatever, that's what gets left behind, but you're going and you feel okay. Yes, it's hard, but you don't have the repercussions, or you're not the one being left behind, right? You're the one lifting up and lifting off. The problem is I experienced that with my parents over and over, with my dad being the red line going, I want better, we're going to move to Germany. I want better, we're going to move to Canada. I want better, we're moving to the States. I want better, we're moving to Florida. And it's just all about him. And the rest of his family, especially his children, were the carnage. So to me,
Mm.
that again is situational as to whether it's actually something that's going. So to me, like that's a very interesting way to look at it. Meanwhile, all the people that were left in Hungary who wanted to do more but couldn't, or the blue line, where the parent is left suffering, but there was stability for the children, right? So everyone's in a great place, not mentally and emotionally, because the whole system's messed up and our whole family systems are messed up. But there was stability, and I never had any stability because of my dad's ambition. But the interesting thing is when you're the blue line, you are the carnage because you are sacrificing yourself to get to somewhere by providing stability or maybe the illusion of for the people around you because you're not making this big breakthrough, I'm out of here kind of, move. So that's really, really interesting. Really
My
interesting.
friends whose parents came here from lovely places like Cambodia and Korea. Korea is a wonderful country, but if you're upper middle class, it's fantastic. But they came from living in places that even in the 1980s had one bathroom per block. I mean, rough. And they came to America and they threw their life away. The parents threw their life away just as a booster rocket. The Apollo, I have these numbers memorized. The Apollo first stage only throws the rest of the rocket 25 miles, I'm sorry, 36 miles that way and 25 miles that way. Okay. 25 this way, 36 that way. All of that fire, five engines so big you could park a U-Haul in each one. Five engines, all that fuel is just 25, 36. 25, 36. And so those parents are like first stage rockets. They made the big move to America where, some people in some linguistic backgrounds never get English very well. English is a son of a bitch and it has no dumb rules that make any sense. It's so the opposite of German. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? So, anyways, that's a hell of a thing. That's a hell of a thing to gamble on an outcome.
Hmm. So it's interesting. So, like looking at me, I can see that that took a certain kind of person to do that, like my dad, but it was a terrible example of family doing that, right? So it's really interesting because I'm trying to find the balance of still doing that because I see the value in it and it's what I need to do, but doing it in a way where there's not such a divide. And it's really hard to navigate that middle line or balancing between the two. So it's almost like a zigzag for me, which is taking way longer. Because look, if you're going up like this and you're going, sorry, up like this and down like this, it's still a
Yeah,
straight line. Then me in the middle, it's never going to be like that. For me, it's oscillating between the two. So look at the distance difference. So it
that's
makes
right.
sense. While the only way that I feel like I could remain stable was to have that ambition, but do it in a way where it's not, exploding my life. But then you oscillate between the two. So no wonder when you stretch that out, it's three times as long as either of the paths, right? Because I
Right.
could the bottom and I can't launch into the middle. I can attain that, but it's just going to take way longer. Like if we're looking at a visual, like that really makes sense. Like that's the way
It's hard
it's
to actually measure anything on that graph that's useful, but it's easy to see that this takes three or four or five
right. You
more.
stretch it out into a line, no wonder. But that to me equates to the amount of stability while remaining with that red line, in mind without just blowing it up and doing it.
Yeah, I mean, blowing up is. There's this movie called Pitch Black, which is the first of the three Riddick movies. You got to be into science fiction action. Vin Diesel. The first movie starts with this setup of a big spaceship that has some explosion problem thing, and they eject like three-quarters of it. So this small part, kind of like the movie Alien, this tugboat part that was pulling this big part disconnects. Okay, that makes sense. Well, then they're having an uncontrolled orbital reentry, and like a nut, they shed like three-quarters of what's left, and now they do it again, and it's just a lifeboat with six people in it. It's that that is a way to make big change, But like you said, there's the carnage, three quarters of three quarters of three quarters is most of all of it. It's brutal. Because even when you plant a seed in a cup and it sprouts, if you were to take that cup apart, you'd find a little wet, dark, rotten husk of the seed outsides. It's discarded. And that carnage is not much compared to everything else. But as far as we know, there's no religion on earth I've ever heard of that says you get to do the exact same thing with your friends and family again. So we might as well pretend that this is it. If even no matter what you believe. And that gets back to the number one mofo rule that my beautiful, very, very shy children turn the funniest colors, orange, pink, yellow dots on orange. The best one so far is yellow dots the size of coins on top of orangey yellow. It's something. The number one rule of don't waste my time. It's brutal. It's brutal. I know I'm going to do this. This has been easy. This I used to write 500 words a night as a music reviewer. If I can't do 500 a day, 20 days, this is 10,000 words. Okay. 64 pages is the minimum you can print with the vendor they use. This is 78 pages, 12 of which are blank. I could throw a few pictures in. I would have a damn book in a heartbeat. Adds credibility to a guy without even a college degree. Whatever. Play the game.
And now you can say Greg, author.
Author, instigator, troublemaker, problem case.
I'm
Uh,
still stuck on blackface, by the way, thinking of Justin Trudeau.
oh my gosh. And he did it more than once. He did it more than once. I couldn't believe it. One time is like, okay, you're going to get a pass from people who love you. Second
It's
time, let alone the Trump Obama ape thing is just astounding. It's astounding. I am the Naholo. I'm the white guy in my wife's family. Mom, oh my God, slip. In my wife's family, I'm the white guy, even though I am somewhat native. They're full bloods. They look like Indians. So, and so once in a while that the race thing comes up because we say the word white. That's the you're not white when you say the word white. White license plates, white vehicle titles, white land versus native owned land. In the United States, there's this native owned land where the federal government owns it, even though your house is on top of it, it's held in a trust. And you're like a hole. You're like a hole in the United States. Just your land is a hole. No taxes. A lot of laws don't apply. You can drill a water well without asking, stuff like that. It's a strange legal function. It's weird. But so we talk about these things because these are business things that occur. We have native license plates. We don't have white license plates, for example, on the vehicles. So whatever, it comes up. So yeah, it's these perspectives are helpful. It also is a reminder that things are not perfect. I have turned down some job opportunities in Dallas and Austin, Texas, both because I'm not leaving my wife behind.
There you go.
No damn way even thinking about it. And even here in McAllister, Redneck MAGA Central, we have got little tiny ICE protests out in front of the McDonald's in this one little shopping center. And I'll even throw a picture in the chat. I'll throw a picture after we're done. So if Elena was on the call, she would say, "What are we going to do next? What are our next steps?"
What are we doing this week? What are we doing?
I want to start chunking on this. If this is 10,000 words and if I can write 500 consistently, again, it doesn't have to be like ready for the Cambridge Press beautiful prose. If I'm just see, I don't need a narrative. I can just say this is like Defense Against the Dark Arts. These are the scams that have been pulled on me and I have seen be
Yes.
pulled on others.
That's
I
what
can
people
just
want to hear about. They want to know stories. They want to do examples. They want to be able to picture the concept in a way that they can put it into their own life.
apply in their own practice. Apply, yes, what you said, right? Exactly. So I've been rephrasing some things like contracts are worthless is the card. Contracts are worthless. It's worse than worthless. Contracts can have a negative value. You and I do business. We have a contract. You might know something about this. You and I do business. We have a contract. Things go crapo. And then now it's time to go sue each other. In the United States, I can spend X amount of dollars on my legal fees. If I lose, I paid my X already. I have to pay Y your legal fees.
Yeah.
Ouch. And if it's punitive, then there's more than that. So I've reframed it as contracts are only worth as much as you are, parentheses, and maybe less, a lot less. So yes, I mean reframing that so that people can feel the fear, they can feel the nasty. There is no such thing, and this is how, again, I'm trying to relate it to people. There's no such thing as a public defender for civil matters. Huh. There's nobody going to go out there and defend your contract except you. And guess what? I don't
Yeah.
love quote,
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't want to deal with legal stuff ever again after this. It's ridiculous. And it's
right?
funny, in my law class right now, one of my classes where we just finished contract law. That's what I was doing this week.
And you have to have money to enforce it. And I don't like quoting Peter Thiel because I don't love Peter Thiel much. Uh, Peter Thiel used Hulk Hogan, if you know who that is, Hulk
Yeah,
Hogan,
I think
the
you told
wrestler.
us a story about that. Yes. Yeah.
Right. So Peter Thiel used Hulk Hogan's situation to destroy Gawker, the magazine group that had like 15 websites in the 2010s that were very influential, and they were destroyed into seven different directions. Half of the sites got bought by Univision, the Mexican TV conglomerate. One of them got by the New York Times. So I mean, yeah, you can, if you don't have 100 million bucks, you can't afford to participate in the legal system because any big person can squash you. So I teach people always be ready to be bought. I grew up around so many people who were immigrants from foreign countries that had war, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, okay, which has had a seething Muslim rebellion in the south for 100 years. Then Philippines, also another rebellion in the south for 100 years. These people had been through rough times and they wanted better, let alone all the different kinds of Jews. Most people don't know there's Jews in Iran, there's Jews in Ethiopia, there's Jews in Sudan. They're just all over, right? Let alone Europe. And these people had taught me the same lesson over and over again. Always know what something's worth. Always keep it in good shape so you can sell it. Decide what you're going to sell and what you're going to carry. And then to some people, decide what you're going to swallow.
Hmm.
Wow, right? Kaboom, right? Hungary and Jewish folk, complicated, very painful history. And Poland, worse, right? So, yeah, be smart about how you take care of your stuff. So, well, along those lines, I teach my kids check your weather app before you go to bed. And I teach business people, founders, always wake up with your valuation if you would sell today. Always know it. Be able to say without blinking $627 trillion US in platinum. Always be ready and be able to explain it why. We're worth $1 million. Why? Because we're doing 350K in yearly revenue. That's not including the intrinsic value of the technology. We're biased based on revenue, easy peasy, 1.2 million. So yeah, you should wake up every single day and know what your valuation is. And secondarily, you should have the confidence it takes to say, I can do this again. Because I just talked to a founder who's like, I am never selling my company. I'm like, hang on. You want VC money and you're never selling your company. Wrong answer. Oh, well, I will have a superior form of stock. I'll have a class of stock that gives me 1 billion to 1 voting. I'm like, they will never put money in. Yeah, they will. They did it for Zuckerberg. They did this. I'm like, bro, you are no Zuckerberg. So I beat that guy up with 3 cards in 90 seconds. They'll never do that. They'll never go, you don't even have a product. No, but I have a spreadsheet. And I realized I started coming to the conclusion that he was high.
Ah,
Yeah,
Your,
great.
this is your ICA call?
Yeah, yeah, he was high. I found out through somebody else he's doing coke and he's in two master's programs at the same time. And he's sleeping 3 hours a day, and man, he looks like it. MBA at Dartmouth and some other masters, but he lost his technical guy, so it's a two-person operation. He's the business guy, but he doesn't know anything about marketing. He doesn't know anything about sales, and he hates people, quote unquote. So he's not going to be a salesperson anytime soon. I'm like, let me get this straight. Your horse cannot walk, cannot run, cannot stand up, and it does not eat. What does it
he is
do?
not your people.
Not my customer. Yeah, absolutely. And he wants to get on the phone and hash it out. I'm like, oh, I've got lots of things to do. So yeah, he's definitely high. And we would say, metaphorically, dude, if you think your business is going to function without a technical person, it's a technical product. You're high. So no, thank you. So what I'm going to get done in the next week is I have gone into and done is it the C part? I think it's the C part. Yes, maybe. No, spark demand. Right. Okay. Nope, that's the wrong one. It is the C part. Craft your offer. Oh, I didn't finish the survey. I thought I did. Anyways, this is making me want to at least do a few more ICAs real quick. Yeah. So I'm gonna definitely look for some more ICAs.
What
Are
number are
are good.
you on, Greg, this round? How many ICAs?
So it depends on how you cook it because of not having the information you need in
Talk
this
about
part,
structuring your pop.
right? You need I'll just go like this. You need the ICA outputs to get past this step. You need the stuff. Okay, that's what you need to sell. And then where's the AI stuff? Oh, this is talking about program access. This is very interesting to you guys, about how this is all fresh new stuff. This is not the right document. It is this one. Yes, I think that's right. So, make a copy. There's going to be so many copies in my Google box. Using the AI tools to extract the juice, and then getting you out of this I want to help everyone thing. We've talked about that. Plenty good. Pop strategy. Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm being a bad host. I'm sorry. It's in here. I looked at it. Oh, summarizing. Maybe that's a good clue for a word. Summarizing. You know, like a summary. Right. So there's the magical ICA assistant that is going to help you summarize your calls. So
Got it.
I'm going to do this with the calls I've got recordings for, recordings and transcripts, right? So biggest pain points, people say all the time, I wish I knew what was possible. I wish I knew what was coming. I wish I knew that I had to lock down my client. One of my controversial opinions is 50-50 partnerships are suicide, that they're like a divorce and a prenup on the first day of marriage. You have to have an asymmetrical relationship to reflect the reality that somebody started the business. Okay, well, we started it together. Somebody is going to work harder than somebody else. And you've got to make it where there is a way to break a tie. Okay. This is reminding me why I've not been using this mouse lately. And then, so using this tool, you can get the magical, open up the ICA assistant and basically boil it down to the bouillon cube to get the essential flavor of what is important. I don't think I have enough for that to work right. Now, to Connor's point, virtual Connor with his little pitchfork and devil outfit with his tail, would say, you are an expert in what you've been doing. You've been doing this for years. I've been doing corpo advice since 98. I think that's a while. I think I've done all the stuff. I started an incubator with 25 other guys. I mean, I've just done all these things, and I think I know what my business is. But that doesn't mean I know what keywords to focus on. So I would still like the benefit of that research. And I'm so close, and now I'm in the groove. I can do an ICA interview exactly in 45 minutes. No going over, easy. It's comfortable. It's easy. I ask extra questions with no problem. Still finish it in 45 minutes. So before it was a big struggle. No matter how talky you are, you can be awkward. Oh, let me show you something. Oh yeah. This is an example. All you have to do is change the context a little tiny bit. Change the context, and all of a sudden you're starting over from scratch. It's crazy. Okay. So if we watch, have you guys ever seen the Johnny Depp Amber Heard We Are Sorry We Brought Our Dogs to
Yes,
Australia?
saw this last time or
Okay.
recently. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So here's our good friend Nicole, who is vivacious and very generous in her energy.
Potential clients could not see the transformation he offered. Sound familiar? Mark wanted consistency,
She's much better,
simplicity, a
but
process,
she
and a
is
plan. He
speaking
was frustrated watching
Victorian.
those sales blips that would appear and then drop.
This is much better, but when she started, it seemed like she had never spoken to anybody. In the earliest Nicole video, I don't remember which one's
Here it
which.
is, a simple formula for pricing your high ticket offer so
This
that
is
it
great.
sells with your most ideal client. Program? Click the link in the description. Scan 10 months to restore their marriages before they helping
But this is
someone
very
save
muted,
or
right?
make our authority blueprint. But
I get it. I get it. That's what Sonny wants. I get it. But the Nicole that we know has this bubbly, exploding, oh my gosh, that's so great. And I really want that for you. And, I hope that, how does that land for you? This looks like, 50% Johnny Depp Amber Heard video. It's so,
Hmm. Yes, this is what I'm talking about between what, like even me hearing myself back as to how I normally talk and then me trying to talk for the recording was like, whew, I'm like, this is my issue. This is why I don't feel comfortable because it's not that I don't sound comfortable, I'm not comfortable. So how can I how can I make it seem or how can I get into the energy of just talking to somebody? Because when I was trying to record before, and then I would record a voice note for, my mom friend about her cat, I'm like, my voice is completely different. People don't want to hear that. People want
Or
to me,
you
I
can
don't want
use the
to,
voice recording, like talk it out, and then use it on top of your like video recording.
but I don't want to do pictures and videos and like I just want to sit and talk. So I need to figure out how to do that. How can I sound like I do in my recording while I'm just talking to the camera, right? It's such a weird concept.
Yeah.
And that would be really,
virtual
yeah.
virtual Nicole and virtual Connor would both say, and all the research shows that short form people are not your customers. But I'm doing these short forms just to establish that I exist as part of my synthetic tofu project, which I'm going to lean on Connor because Christine Jiang is connected to him. I'm going to say, hey, can you get me an intro? Not only do I want to talk to her about Reddit, I want for her to be one of my ICAs because she's been in several startups. So an ICA that I don't know, still she's in AA, okay, whatever. I'll live with the differences, but she will lead to more people I absolutely do not know. Because targeting information is different than, actually going there. You can say we can plan the route to the moon is like this versus lighting the fire and going. So targeting information says my customers here, pursuing them in a sales function is actually going to the moon. Because frankly, it is pursuit. They woke up yesterday and they didn't think about you. They were fine without you in your life, in their life. So YouTube would help me pursue them.
That's what, but YouTube puts something in front of them that they know they need, but won't know until they find it. And I just don't think short form content for me is
Concur.
appealing as a person. Like when I look
Concur.
at short form content, I look at it for entertainment.
Right. It's a brain blip.
Something, I look in YouTube, right? Like that's the big
Right.
thing.
So, okay. So Shakespeare versus pick a comedian who's raw and hits it for you, but is got, cuss words and whatnot. So pick a comedian that works for you. Are you into comedians?
I like watching comedy. Oh my God, I watch a lot of Derek Cahill videos on Facebook.
Derek Cahill. Okay, so the difference between Shakespeare and Derek Cahill, or the difference between Shakespeare and Twilight, Shakespeare is how you say it, right? Twilight or Derek Cahill or any other popular culture is what you're saying. It's not prosaic. It's not studied for its format. People care about the idea, right? They forgive your differences. So my theory is who we're talking to. This is just a little wire twisty tie who we want to talk to is skinnier than this. I am completely cool with having YouTube affect those people, as in be persuasive, change their mind from I wasn't watching you to I'm going to watch you. So the how versus the what, this is in book 6, what I call my garbage book. The how versus the what is how I appreciate English. I learned I grew up speaking a valley dialect. I sounded like a complete moron and my German broadcast English teacher. That's weird. Why would they hire a German? Oh, because she coached famous people. she convinced me to speak standard English, and that's what I'm giving you right now. I'm giving you standard English. But if I'm drunk, tired, or excited, I apparently turn back into a dumb valley boy. But along those lines, if someone picks up over here on the shorts for your how, like how you talk to them, what is your style? What is your point? How do you bring like clarity to these ideas? And then maybe they'll transition into long form. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm doing it to have signs of life just for synthetic tofu. Signs
And I
of
think
life,
that
not a
because
robot.
that's what's going to motivate you, right? That's what's going to make you do the thing you need to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I have
It'll
this
take time. Take time
it
to practice.
100%. I have
Mm.
this gag where I'm out in the snow and I'm like, insurance has got layers. And I pull off one set of sunglasses and there's another set of sunglasses underneath. And that's why insurance is valuable, is because there's layers. You don't have insurance, it's insurances. You know, a single atomic point, 55 seconds, upload, keep going,
Yeah.
and that's where I'm at. So what I'm going to do this next week is I'm going to start writing this, and I've already helped ghostwrite 3 books. So I know the best thing to do is start on chapter 3, just start in the middle and go. Chapter 3, blah. So I'm taking a spreadsheet. I'm going to put in these ideas into a spreadsheet as line items. I'm going to make a number next to them and give them a card number with no particular order. Then I'm going to start putting them into columns about the company, about the partnership, about the customers, about the acquisition, and then I'll put them into chapters in a book, or I'm sorry, in sections of chapters. And then I've got to decide. I've had this idea of this book that is set up like this, where there are the 50 or 60 cards, because the old saying is, I taught you everything that you know, but I didn't teach you everything that I know. I'm not going to dump my life into a book. There's no purpose to that. I don't need any
What
recognition
about
or
links? What I've had books before, physical books, where they linked it to a website, and you can actually link each chapter, each concept to a part on your website. Again, it leads them to there, but that's where they see you give a short 1 2 minute video of an example, and that's where you're.
oh, hang on, you are girl, you read my mind. So every chapter is going to have a QR code, and the QR code will go to a permanent link that I will never ever lose, even though I might replace the videos. And that's the other thing, by the way, side note, I am feel completely comfortable publishing these not fancy animated videos or whatever, because I know I can replace them, and Instagram forces you to replace stuff, and I don't care, it's fine. But if imagine if there was 5 cards with 5 ideas, the most important 5 ideas. What about 5 chapters that have the same card numbers on the other half of the book that are just the war stories, like the brutality, the carnage that
And
happened.
save your shorts because you can go bloop, bloop, bloop and make a long video with compilations.
Exactly. That's exactly right. My son said that. He
Yeah.
watches Vine compilations. He misses Vines. He grew up with Vines.
Yeah.
He's 24. He's 25 actually. Hang on. Yeah, he grew up with Vines. So yeah.
I know
But
about him, but I never watched.
I know some people
Yeah.
did or didn't, but they talked about it, right? It was a thing. And why did they kill it? Because it didn't make any money. It was losing money, like oceans of money, right? So,
Mm.
but yeah, I'm starting on this right now, and I'm going to use it because it's spring. Everything's getting going. Spring is coming. I know people who run groups in Oklahoma City. I'm well known there. I'm a little bit known in Tulsa, but Tulsa has a 200x bigger startup community. Oh my God. They have 15 VCs, and there's a part-time VC in Oklahoma City. Nobody knows why there's a big difference. There's a 4-story incubator building with rental offices and all kinds of events in Tulsa. There's something that tries to be that in Oklahoma City, but is consumed with COVID's conspiracy MAGA people now. Anyways, have a conspiracy. Have 5 conspiracies like hobbies, like puzzles with missing pieces. Enjoy. Go
I,
for it.
I enjoy conspiracies.
Enjoy. There's so many to choose from. It's exhausting, but maybe not at work. So, anyways, I'm going to do this damn thing. And like I said, I don't have to include every single thing I've ever thought. Look at this, Matt. This looks like a crazy wall. This looks like one of those walls with the yarn and the pictures and the
Like the
pushpin.
guy with the picture and he's got the smoke
It's
and
like,
he's
right? It's the dude from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But yeah, exactly. He looks Charlie Day. Charlie Day, right? He's a comedian. Very neurotic. But yeah. Right.
I'm gonna do the next video and I want to upload those in the next couple of days together and just feel like I'm on a roll. And that's my big thing. And I'm gonna look at Sunny scores again because I'm up to 20% as well. I just checked. So
Look at that.
I'm gonna update my chart and my graph and then see
Nice.
what's next. Patty, what about you?
I'm just gonna follow what my coach tell me to do.
Oh, yeah.
Do you mind? Do you have a second? Can you share with me your other coach? What's that all about? How did you find them? What's
It
the
was through
format?
AA. It was through
Okay.
AA. Her name is Molly Downs, and it's very like creative way of approaching like coaching and everything. So we first started diving into like writing children's book, getting me into momentum, finding my voice. And then like through that, I realized I want to work on one-on-one clients to get my um, evidence and like confidence and everything. So now she's teaching me how to do that. But it's always coming back to what feels aligned to me. So she's allowing
Nice.
the space for the things to happen. And
Nice.
idea just comes. I was like, I don't know how.
They are coming. Ideas are coming.
Yeah,
Like
like idea just
it's
comes.
happening. It's popping.
Mm-hmm. And that's why,
Nice.
like, so she's having to do the emails. I haven't, like, I started on like possible brainstorm what to do. And I think she would tell me when to start all those things. But right now, it's all about like grounding me into my offer, what I can show up now, and then add on
Wow.
to the things that make sense.
Wow. Okay. So how did you meet this person in terms of who approached who?
I reached out to her. I think I was watching one of the replays, and she was saying like she took her time with ICS because it was going to a new area for her, and she doesn't want her non-warm network to find out what's going on. She wants to
I
kind of
see.
establish a new place. I was like, okay, I re resonate with it. And then she told me about her dental background, where she used to work in the dental practice for her
Oh, I
father-in-law.
think I know who she is
Uh,
now. I will look her up. Okay.
yeah, I can send it to you.
Okay, cheers.
Um, but then, yeah, right now she is not doing AA. I think she realized the model isn't fit into what she wants to do.
So that
Um,
after talking to Connor about 400 times, because I am kicking him in the ass. I am coaching him on his marketing because he has negative marketing background. He has negative
um,
marketing. I was like, dude, social media marketing world, how the hell are you not going there? What would I do? You would say I was the top salesperson and earned 20 of the $30 million for a major online educator,
mhm.
whatever. You would do it. Well, he needs to be a speaker there next year. It's in April. So he needs to be a speaker there. It's obvious he will be. Anyways, I have opinions and I'm doing it Socratically. Like, what if? How about this? What do you think about that? I'm getting him to think in those directions. Well, he's coaching me backwards also. And I asked him, what is the number one? I'm getting him ready for an interview, but what is the number one thing that is different about how you feel now that you're a bird out of the cage compared to where you were at your previous place? He goes, oh, one size does not fit all.
Yeah, because
One,
Molly said she'd done group coaching and she'd done like in person and online and everything. But I think now
okay,
she
I know her.
realized
Yep.
like the stuff that she likes to do is letting things to reveal itself. So it's the magic of the discovery and the process. And what AA function is very like cookie cutter. You know the structure. It's very specific. So yeah, that's why I realized when working with her it won't be fit for AA model, but the dental will. I just need to establish myself, find some partners, and do it that way, I think. Because I don't want
Yes.
to do the dental thing myself. Because I think eventually I want to be removed from it. It's
There
just
you
something,
go. You
yeah.
are Anna. You are Annaizing. You are
hmm
becoming Anna-esque. You know, because you are more than just that one thing.
So you don't
Yeah.
want to do dental at all?
I want to start because I feel like there is one thing I can still leave behind for it. Like there's a need for it. I know how to help those people. Um, so I like to give it out, but I don't want to work on it all the time. So I think eventually it'll be someone else. Or I'll be phased out from the company, I think, the business of the because
I've thought
yeah,
about the same
it
thing.
feels like it's one last missing piece I have to do for that part to let go. Yeah.
You
How
know,
does this make you feel? Do you see this? If I play this, how does this make you feel?
Yeah, that's
Help! Help! Get me out of here! Help! Help! Where are you? I'm here inside one of these cans. That's where
I played this for Connor, and he's like, "Dude, I'm about to have a panic attack. Get me out of these cans." Okay, you know, that's a classic from people my age cartoon. Chip and Dale are these two. Oh no, please. Oh no, I insist. Oh no, you must go first. Oh no, I must insist. Oh no. They're overly polite. They're used as a meme if you're above a certain age. But that particular episode where they're getting put into cans on a conveyor belt, nobody wants that feeling. But that's the only way that something can scale. And that's the thing is Sunny has decided to scale.
yeah. And I realized that isn't what I'm wanting to do, at least in this season right now. It's yeah, it feels too much, and then I think the too much comes from me putting pressure on what it should look like.
Mhm.
Interesting. Hmm. Hmm. My head's hurting. I'm having a thought I've never had before. Hmm.
So yeah, like now because I haven't touched this curriculum and watched the replay, there is kind of like more freedom in a way. You can play around with things. Mhm. I haven't gone to the doing part, but the whole groundingness is making the doing part easier later on for me.
Yes, absolutely. I want you to have the feeling I have of complete invulnerability. I stay down here in my corner of the small dollar deals that never turn into the mega corps. There's this great graph. I will relent with the screen sharing, but there's a graph that shows Facebook employees over time. By their third year of existence, they had 6,300 employees. I don't want to work at a 6,300 employee. There's this there's this great scene in the TV show Mad Men where this gentleman comes in. It's like 1955 or 8 or something, and he looks like he's 50, 60 years old. So he walks in and he's formerly from Russia, and he sees this typist pool. It's all deliberately constructed. It's a two-story space inside an office building, and there's this infinite number of secretaries all typing, and they're all on point and very attractive and all squared away, everything very businesslike. Every desk is clean, etc. And he looks around like this. He goes, "Wow, this looks like some czarist ministry, busy for the sake of being busy." Because again with the Slavic language business here, apparatchiki is a not a nice word when an old Russian lady points to a police officer and says, uh, Niet, я не пою аппаратчики. I am not some cog in the machine. Something I don't remember it perfectly. I don't speak Russian ever anymore, that's for sure. But I am not just a cog, right? I stay down here. I am not part of these gigantor corporations. I don't want to be. You don't want to be. Stay away. I'm invulnerable down here. My experience is what it is. It doesn't change.
Hmm.
What we've gone through is in the past. It does not change. It's a word we use a lot in computers. Immutable.
Yeah, I think working on AA, I feel like I was trying to sign myself to a job to help issue form and structure and everything. And that's why she told me to remove myself,
Conveyor
allow
belt.
me to create, and then I can show up in a way and like things start to align easier.
Just
Because
one
I know
tool
at
in the
this stage I need to
toolbox.
build my authority in a way online. And through AA, there's so many blockers from me putting myself out there because it comes with a lot of like things I haven't worked through, or do I even really need to work through that part? Or maybe there's a different way of working on that stuff, but it just comes later on. Yeah.
Do I like
Yeah.
that makes me think, Patty, of me? It's like, do I want to do the thing just to do the thing when I know it's gonna be a fight for me, right? Like a fight with myself, a fight with other people, a fight with visibility. Um, so for you, you have to figure out. how you can move through this comfortably.
Mm.
And whatever that
Survivable.
this is, right? Whatever that the process is,
Yeah.
doesn't have to be sunny. It doesn't have to be dentistry, but you need to move through it. Because I can't go into it, and this is why I've been stalling. Not stalling, but just like taking it really slow and evaluating. I can't go into it and just close my eyes and just be like, okay, I'll grin and bear it. I just got to go in and I know I have to do this. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to, because I'm not going to show up the way I want if I do that anyway. And I'm just like abusing myself continuously. I already did that in my profession. And I had good sections where, for years I had amazing positions, but I've been in the industry since 1997, right? So it's been like 29 years since high school. And most of that has been a grin and bear it,
Mm.
because that's what we do. And I don't want
Mm.
to do that anymore.
Mhm.
I don't want to do it. And it's not that I don't want to do hard work. I'm a very hard worker. I'm a very good worker, meaning I enjoy doing things. I enjoy doing things for each other. I enjoy the challenges. I enjoy working hard, but I don't want to do the grin and bear it anymore.
Mm.
Whatever that means, right? Physical work, mental work, other people, like I'm not doing that anymore. I don't just not want to do it. I'm not doing it anymore. And it's interesting because over the last week, I also had this revelation with my son, and we've had fights and we've had things. And now I have, a earning tablet TV time chart up on the wall because I'm not doing this anymore, being surrounded by people who I feel are abusing me in some manner. And, in some ways, I set up my child to, as a 6-year-old, to be abusive towards me, right? Because of the demands, because of, him being kind of spoiled. And, he's an amazing kid, but it's me. I'm putting myself in situations where I'm not setting him up to learn and to grow in a way because I am still continuing to abuse myself. I'm putting myself in uncomfortable situations and I'm not doing it anymore. So it's interesting because it's not of service to him either, just like using him as an example, right? Of, he now expects to get things when we go shopping just because it was easier for me to just shut him up and buy him something, right? So that we have a good shopping trip. And so it's like me having to do more work now to undo some of the things that have become a habit for him by no fault of his own, but turning him into somebody who reflects back to me that me just grinning and bearing it only comes back as more hardships for me when that's what
Multiplier.
quite
Yeah.
right. So when I say my son's abusing me, it's not like, it's not him. He's just showing me
Mhm.
the way that I'm doing things doesn't work. Grinning and bearing it is not good. So you need to like do things the way you want. It's like, no, I have the right to do things the way and have the kind of life that I want to have. And what that includes is going to be different for everybody. But that's what I'm trying to get away from. And I don't want to fall into the same patterns in my own business that I
Mhm.
did in my work life because I easily could. And yes, I chose to be in my work life and the way that people treat you and that, I don't have control over that. And yes, that's their fault. But I can actually recreate that very easily where I'm the one doing that to myself and creating that same environment. Right? And I'm like, I'm done. I'm not abusing myself anymore. So,
That's why I terminated my one-on-one coaching because I became surrounded by a fort, like palisades are those forts made out of logs with pointy tops, like in cowboy movies. They come from like Roman times and even earlier. The cat is like, I'm gonna just be really classy and sit here and just be this no problem kitty kitty. She's just like asking for attention by not. Um, but I became surrounded by this pile of wealthy people who wanted me to be like their flunky friend, assistant, and occasionally blow up on me about their 29-year-old wife from Ukraine horseshit that I wanted nothing to do with. Very stereotypical. I could write a TV show that's like the Austin.com rich asshole version of Entourage. Okay. Like it's the reverse. It's one star guy with his bunch of flunky friends. That's entourage. And this would be one flunky with a bunch of competing rich assholes. TV show. I have it. It's ready. It's all in my mind. I didn't want anything to do with that anymore. And I told you I named my price and they matched it. And I said, I'm not driving down there. I'll send a plane. And I was like, what am I going to do with these guys? I'm just kicking the can of the kid behavior down the road, and now I've got more relationship maintenance to do. And I'm just like, no, I'm just not going to do it. And I burnt out on it big time. So I'm glad to hear what Patty's saying, and I'm glad to hear what you're saying too, Anna. That this is just one tool in a box full of tools. We can pick and choose bits and pieces and figure it out, and change our minds,
Yeah.
and change our minds. I'm going to send you this cohort video, and one of the things you can take from it is for sure, and it's mentioned in Sunny's material too, is the terms of services can change. But everybody you've got in that term of service, those 26 people or whatever, you have to treat them a certain way. You have to number everything. This is like advice from the book, anyways. You have to number everything. These people qualified as this. Like in the United States, in almost every state, if you have an employee handbook and you hire someone, that's kind of like the contract by which you're going to treat them. If you change the employee handbook, you can't just change it because you're changing the deal on their employment. So you have to give them something, cash bonus if they sign the new one, a little bit of options, something like that. You have to give them something because the first thing you'll learn in contract law, you might remember, no contract without consideration. There is no such thing as a one-way contract. There has to be reasonable value exchanged
The
both ways. So
agreement. Yeah.
$1
Customer
contracts don't
agreement.
work.
Yeah. It's funny because they used Uber as the example of an intoxicated person here in Canada that agreed to Uber's surcharge. I can't remember what they're called. And
Yeah,
it was like, I can't remember, it was like a distance from one end of the city to the other. But, anyways, ended up being over $1,000 cab ride for him on New Year's Eve.
right,
So it's a
right.
really interesting.
Surge,
Yeah,
surge
surge
pricing.
pricing. Yes, so they had the class split into two, and you were the counsel writing. So you were the guy's counsel writing to Uber, and I fell into the group that was Uber's counsel writing to the counsel of the guy, and we had to like role play through a mock letter how you would respond and actually
Yeah.
defend your stance, and it had to be surrounded by contract law. And it's interesting because he agreed that he was intoxicated, um, but it didn't void the contract because Uber had no way to assess through an app his state of mind. And so they had enough evidence to no, so they took enough precautionary steps to pre-warn their clients of the surcharge. It comes up as a pop-up that you have to tap. If it's more than twice the amount, you have to type in the amount. So all these steps that he had to
Oh,
do.
that's new. Oh, very interesting. That's new.
Yeah,
I've never seen that. Interesting.
different articles. So I read about four different articles because they cite. So they gave us three different articles to read, and then and I searched some other ones. So you piece the story together because not every article included all the information, but it was really interesting. So it's just really cool because it really defines for you that there's so many ways that you can argue about it. But there is a right and a wrong way to write the contract, and you can argue like the level of how accurate that point is, but it comes down to a very simple fact of it's an agreement that you have between two people, and if you can show that both of them were have the capacity to sign it, then there's no question. But defending that is where all the money comes from, right, Greg? Like with you and your deal, was it like 5-year deal or whatever it was with that? Was it Lucent? Where
Right,
it's like
right.
you
No, that
were
was
correct.
2-year deal, right. Yeah, third up
You
front and a
were
third on each
correct,
end.
and you could have fought it and won, but you just didn't have the means to do it, right?
Right, but I was lucky that I had stuck a little silver camera I've showed you up an event, and that my boss was in an empty room with all the carpets gone and all the cubicles are gone and all the wiring is rolled up and hanging from the ceiling, and there's even a fire suppressant sprinkler that got damaged that is just dripping slowly, and he's standing behind me with two trash can lids. Winter Wonderland. blowing
No,
around, eh?
all that snow just fell. They're clearing off. Someone's either clearing off the balcony or they're clearing off the roof because I just had this giant sheet of snow fall down.
Yep. Oh, my wife and I watched those videos, massive amounts of snow falling off a building in Switzerland or China or, random places. Some places just had more cameras. Yeah, but I mean, that guy was standing behind me with two trash can lids, knowing full well that I'm a pacifist and I was gonna probably thump him. But no, I wouldn't. Yeah, yeah. I want people to know it's possible. There's this scene in the movie Social Network where the Mark Zuckerberg character is it being explained that if this goes to trial, you're going to lose, and he's like, "Why?" Because I have all these facts and all this stuff. And he's like, "You're just not likable." And he goes, "Why does that make a difference?" Because would a reasonable person agree? That's the standard. Would a reasonable person agree that you took reasonable steps to prevent an unintended result, etc.? Now, you and I know if you give a drunk person a puzzle, they will solve it. Even if they're on their hands and knees crawling around, they'll still write Shakespeare somehow magically to get more alcohol or whatever. But yeah, I want people to have some inoculation. I've looked into the trademark Defense Against the Dark Arts, and there's this big lawsuit about this coffee company, Dark Arts, and I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole because Warner Brothers is extremely litigious. But that's essentially what it is. This is defense. What I'm going to write is going to be defense against the dark arts.
Get ChatGPT to give you some creative and what's the word I'm trying to reach for?
Analogs,
Just to give you some different
analogies. Yeah,
some yeah.
yeah. It's out there, but I don't. If it summons the feeling of Harry Potter, I'm still vulnerable. So I can mention in the intro or on the back. I can talk about. I wanted to call this defense against the dark arts, but I'm tired of giving lawyers money. So let me
Oh,
help you avoid the same thing. You
yes.
know. Ah,
Oh, well,
yeah.
the snow's gonna fall. Anyway, I do have to run,
Me
regrettably,
too.
because I could chat forever. And Patty, you need to go to bed.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're the best. Thank you for participating. It's awesome, and you're making such progress. With your permission, may I contact Molly Downs? I'm not going to use you as an intro. I'm just going to say I know you, but
Sure.
I want to talk to her as an ICA at least.
I don't think she has done any stuff, but she has worked with so many coaches in the past.
Right.
Yeah.
Referrals. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would love to see if there's any way that maybe I can also technically assist her, as I'm hustling for that side money here and there. And I keep it. This is part of this book called Ask by Ryan Levesque. Like what his logic is, why would you not ask? Because you don't know what this leads to. You don't know. But she's been in AA, so we have that alone to talk about.
Hmm.
And I guarantee if I look, she knows somebody in my network. It just seems like it. She says entrepreneur. That's a specific word, right?
Yeah.
So no, but her website is
Okay.
great. It's got all the stuff. Get on the list, sign up with your email. I'm going to fix my list thing. I'm going to get a chunk of money today from this guy, and I'm going to fix my list. I don't have a list. I need a list. Get a list. It's not that hard, you know. Anyways,
Hey, see,
My friend,
super.
bye.
I will
Be
see you next.
well. Everybody stay well. Cough,
Thank
cough.
you.
Take care.
Get better, but
Thank
bye.
you.